Have you had issues with discipline? Have you seen yourself like someone who is not disciplined? When you see a video around discipline, you say to yourself, man, I struggle with discipline. If that's you, then this video is for you. I'm going to show you exactly what to do just in 5 minutes to handle and realize how to overcome this lack of discipline that you think you struggle with. My name is Yuri Ogwigwe. I have trained over 23,000 salespeople across 5 countries: Nigeria, Ghana, USA, UAE, Rwanda. I'm also the CEO of Ultravantage. I'm a business consultant with specialty in Salesforce management. I worked at an organization where I was given a target to sell to 20 HNIs in a single month, and I was able to bring in 21 HNIs in a single month. I also participated in a sales competition where I won, and I was sent for the World Cup by my company for an all-expense paid trip. I moved to another organization where I grew a portfolio of $3.5 million to over $7 million in just 11 months. I'm an author of several books and resources on sales, and I'm featured on a lot of media platforms to talk about successful selling. So I'm going to walk you through today what you can do. Just a 5-minute hack, 5-minute blueprints to be able to get you more disciplined, to be able to achieve consistent sales. And the major thing is this. You see, a lot of times, identity is more powerful than ability. And people tend to see themselves as not having enough discipline. Why? Because they've looked at one area of their life and they feel, oh, I'm not doing well in this area. I'm struggling in this area. It must mean that I'm not disciplined enough. And they judge and see themselves as people that are not disciplined. I have good news for you. You are already disciplined. Have you seen an athlete or somebody who has great physique, great shape, great body, but the person is broke? What happened there? Disciplined in exercise, but not disciplined with money. Have you seen somebody who is very wealthy, billionaire, but very flabby, big, pot belly, overweight? What happened there? Disciplined in money matters and in business and in building wealth, not disciplined enough when it comes to exercise. So my point in all these things is that don't look at one area of your life where you feel you are not disciplined enough, and based on that, you judge and make a conclusion about your personality. No. When we talk about discipline, it's not about character. When we talk about discipline, it's about the activity. So separate yourself from the activity. You are already disciplined. If you're not disciplined right now, you won't have any teeth because you brush your teeth every morning. At least I hope so. If you're not disciplined right now, then you wouldn't smell good because at least you have a bath every day. So my point is that there are things you already do consistently and you do well. Now, with this in mind, it means that you no longer have that stigma on yourself. Oh, I lack discipline. Oh, I struggle with consistency. There are things you're consistent with. The issue is there are two drivers that drive human nature. And these drivers, you want to bring them to equilibrium in a particular area of your life or in any area you desire discipline. When there's some equilibrium in that area, you may be able to, or you most likely will be able to go over a long term in that particular task or in that particular activity. And in this particular video, we're talking about sales here. The activities that matter, that you need to be disciplined in so that you can be able to get consistent results. Now, the two major drivers that affect human nature are pain and pleasure. When we say pain, we're looking at regrets. When we say pleasure, we're looking at reward. So pain and pleasure drive humans. Regrets and reward, in other words, drive humans. So with this understanding right now, it means that if there's any area you feel you're not disciplined enough in yet, it is because the pain is not very significant. If things are not supposed to go well in that area and problem arose because you didn't follow up or follow through on that activity, the pain that will come as a result is not significant enough to you. Also, if you follow through on that activity and you succeeded in it and you did very well in that activity, the reward that will come to you is not inspiring enough. So everybody needs to find what is driving them. What is driving you right now? In some departments or in some areas of your life, it could be pain. The fear of regrets. Oh, I don't want to regret. Someone says regret weighs kilograms. Discipline weighs only grams. So regret weighs a lot. So you say, man, I don't want to regret this. Then you push through on it. Or some other areas, it is a desire for pleasure. Oh, I don't want to miss this opportunity. I need to go. I want to get this achievement. I want to get this reward. Oh, I want to get this goal. I want to get this money. That's what is driving you. So one of the two needs to drive you at every point in time. You just need to find out which one for that particular task or activity. So what are the activities or the strategies you can now use to make sure that in the things you need to do as a salesperson, you can be disciplined? What are the things you need to do? You need to go out for meetings consistently. If you don't go for enough meetings, there will be no sales. You need to practice affirmations. You need to talk to yourself. You need to tell yourself that you can do it. You need to say to yourself you're number one. If you don't talk to yourself enough, you may start to question your abilities and question your confidence. Number three, you need to make cold calls. You need to call so that you can be able to reach out to new people. You need to be able to participate in some level of marketing or awareness to let people know about what you do. And it could be cold calling. If you don't do cold calling in your organization and your leads come to you, there are a certain number of leads you need to call every day, then meet up with a particular number. If it's 50 leads you to call every day or 60 leads to call every day, meet up with that particular number. So these are the things that can make it possible for you to be able to do those things consistently. I'll just give you 4 of them quickly now. Number 1, there must be a goal. You must have a goal. When I say goal, some people say things like, oh, they don't believe in goal setting. No problem. The word goal, another word for it is you must have an objective. Another word for it is that you must have a destination. There must be something that you don't yet have, that you are seeing in your mind's eye, that you want to have. So for you, could it be your promotion? Could it be an increase in salary? Could it be that you want to meet that budget this year at all costs? Whatever it is, note it down. Let that be the goal. Then you now have to decide and find out which one is driving me. Is it pain? Is it pleasure? Now, the best way to do it is that it should have both. Both. You know that I want to stay away from pain. I also want to make sure I have the pleasure. A balance. You want to have both. When you can find a way to make yourself realize that you're going to get both, you most likely will be able to take action. So, the choice in your heart of deciding that you're going to begin this is where the real power is. A lot of times people set goals and it looks like when they set those goals, they don't even take action. Why don't they take action? Somebody says, there are no lazy people. There are only people with impotent goals. This means there are no lazy people, only people whose goals don't excite them enough. They don't inspire them enough. And why don't those goals excite them? It's because those goals are just set from the head. The goals don't align with their hearts, what they really want. And that's why I'm saying that whatever activity or task that's before you that you want to be consistent in, get yourself to align with your heart. And the way you align with your heart is striking an equilibrium, a balance between the pain, the regrets that could happen if you don't do it, and the reward that could happen if you do it. And striking that balance would help you stay consistent. There are activities that I do consistently. For example, I come on this program 6:30 a.m. every day, and I come every day and I do it consistently. Why? Because I've been able to strike a balance between regrets of what I don't want this to not happen. There are some things I don't want to happen, and there are some things I want to happen. So I've been able to strike a balance, and every day I remind myself, whether through reading my whys, the reasons why I'm doing this, or because of some other things I'm going to show you right now. So number 1, I said have a clear goal and make sure it aligns with your heart or what you really desire. Number 2, have milestones. Have milestones. When I say have milestones, I'm saying review from time to time. Don't look at, if for example, you want to do, I want to make 100 cold calls today. Instead of you just focusing on the 100 cold calls, why don't you focus on the first 5? And the next 5? And the next 5. I watched a documentary about a particular individual during the World War who had a lot of his colleagues injured. All of it. At a point in the war, the entire army, all of them were badly injured. It was only him, only one person who was okay. And in the documentary, the story tells us that this man, he had to pull up his colleagues up a mountain. This means that he will have to tie a rope up their waist and he will climb the mountain and pull them up. And every time he pulled one person up, the next thing he will say is, one more, one more. There were an entire army, so many soldiers down there who were shot, wounded. If he had said to himself, how am I going to move these 500 soldiers or 1,000 soldiers up this hill? It would have almost been impossible. There would be no energy. But he broke it down in milestones. And all he said is, one more. He will move one person first. And when he gets the person up, he will say, let me go one more. He will go back down, tie the rope again, climb up, pull the person up. He'll say, let me go one more. So why don't you take it a day at a time? 5 calls at a time. 1 meeting at a time. Focus on the immediate task. Forget about the future. Tomorrow will come eventually. Once you do what you're doing consistently now, you come eventually. Imagine if you wanted to brush your teeth and you said to yourself, man, 365 days a year. Over the next 10 years, I'm going to be brushing my teeth. This means for 3,650 days, I have to do this. Am I going to do this 3,650 times? And that's for 10 years, not to talk of 50 or 60. You know, it will not become overwhelming. But when you just focus on, I just want to brush today. Then tomorrow, I just want to brush today. Before long, you would have been here 50 years and you would have brushed every day. So my point is that when you break whatever activity in milestones and you focus on the activity for today, then it becomes almost impossible for you not to follow through. Then of course, based on the drivers of human needs, pain and pleasure, you want to also reward yourself for successes. So this means you know that this is something you've pushed yourself to do, to start initially. Now you've done the first 5 calls. Can you give yourself a small reward? 5 calls will be too early, however, but you can create a reward milestone and decide that, you know what, I'm going to set this reward up. When I do 50%, when I do 50 calls, I'm 200 calls a day. When I do 50, I'll reward myself. What kind of reward? You could decide that you wanted to go take a walk. You could decide that you wanted to buy yourself your favorite drink or ice cream, or you will go and watch a movie, or decide to do whatever it is that makes you excited, makes you happy. Just give yourself that cheat day, that reward for doing that particular activity. Then number 3, set your routines. Have a set time. See, when there is a set time for an activity, it's impossible not to do it consistently. Many years ago, I was a student, and I remember I was walking behind the Student Union building on my way to lectures, and I heard somebody listening to an audio program by Mike Murdoch talking about how most people complain that they don't read the Bible every day. And I stopped there and I listened to the entire message. And the guy said, why do you think you don't read the Bible every day and you desire to read it every day? He said, it's because you don't have a set time for doing it. If you have a set time to read the Bible every day, you'll be able to do it every day. And that has helped me over the years. I have read the Bible consistently, and at different stages of my life, I've had to adjust the timing. But I've been able to adjust timing consistently so that it can be possible and easy for me to follow through and read the scriptures every day. Then finally, your environment. I've said number 1, the goal. Number 2, the milestones. Number 3, the routine. Number 4, the environment. Your environment. You see, if you want to do something consistently, you must create an environment that makes it easy for you. For example, if in your office, when you do cold calling, you do it together as a team, that will be very easy. But if you're doing it alone in one corner, that may be tough. So create an environment that makes it easy for you. Associating with others who want to do that same particular task or activity will make it easy for you. Imagine somebody who wants to work out every morning. And when the person wakes up in the morning, the person's shoes are very high up the wardrobe. They have to get a ladder, climb, and get the shoes down before they start. They won't even be inspired to want to work out. But imagine if the person will sleep with their workout clothes and will get up in the morning and step into their shoes because it's next to their bed. It becomes very easy because the environment has made it empowering for you to follow through and take action. So create an environment that makes it easy for you to be able to step into the activity. So imagine if the reason why we encourage salespeople to have a call plan, this means that all their calls for the entire month or for the entire week, they have them set up a week before. So this means that all the prospects we wanted to meet this week, they already scheduled it last week. That has created an environment for you to win. Once you've entered the week, you have meetings scheduled. You have created an environment for you to be disciplined and to get the right results. All right, thank you so much for listening. I'm happy that at least you know now that you're a disciplined person. Because when you look at discipline, it shouldn't be looked at as a character trait. It should be looked at as a particular area that you're trying to address. And with this, you've enjoyed 5 minutes of being able to stay disciplined and consistent to produce sales. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Please remember to like, to comment, and to subscribe, and to watch the next video I'm going to put up for you right here. Thank you so much for watching. See you again tomorrow.